What's that? It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a lackluster Superman movie.
No, it's the chandelier.
Even better.
Hi, everybody. Guess what we saw? You'll never guess. And it wasn't Purge.
Man of Magnesium Sulfate.
That probably would have been better. That sounds like it could be like a Don't Lie to Science guy kind of like learning about the heavy metals of the periodic table. But no.
Metal with the skulls roar. Just imagine metal going like that. Man of Steel wasn't very good.
No, it was even worse for me because I hate superhero movies. It was so bad. We got some good trailers though.
We got The Hobbit, which looks better on the big screen than it does on the... It's computer game... Star Wars Episode 1 graphics look better on the big screen than they did on the computer.
And R.I.P.D., which I really want to see because it looks like one part Ghostbusters and like the other part Men in Black, like the first Men in Black when it was still good. That was good.
You know, they get extra points for having James Hong, aka Lo Pan from Big Trouble in Little China, as the old Chinese guy. He was crazy dead but still alive in Big Trouble in Little China. I think this was an in-joke.
It might have been.
What other trailers we get?
We got one of that looks really good. That like has literally could be called Oscar Bait the movie, and is apparently the true story of an African American butler who worked for like several presidents. And it's just everybody famous. Like Oprah is in it, Robin Williams is in it, a whole bunch of other Jane Fonda, a whole bunch of famous people.
I thought it looked terrible.
Because you don't love liberty and you don't love freedom.
No. It was just what it looked like. It was a TV movie. Hallmarked, but attempted to be historical. However,
it kind of looked like a little bit kind of like Forrest Gump, like the American Expect goes to many generations.
I thought it looked terrible. However, I was feeling a little bit bad about that at the end because it said written by Danny Strong. Danny Strong, you might have heard that name. He played Jonathan in Buffy, but he is in the last 5 years he has become a knockout American political script writer.
So you take that and smoke it.
He wrote Recount, the story, the dramatization of the 2000 Bush Gore election.
That was the first presidential election I voted in.
Yeah, he wrote the really I think it was award-winning but really good movie about that. He wrote the movie about Sarah Palin with Julianne Moore. He is a really good political writer.
I'm gonna go see it because it looks good. I mean, it looks like I think it looks good anyway. But there was also what else was there?
There was Elysium, which looks like Battle Angel really Alita.
And actually, I read an article.
What about the joke? You're like, hey, honey, I heard when they were filming part of this, like they filmed.
I was about to say that.
Okay, you can do it.
This is what I live with. No, I read an article in Geek Magazine about the filming of this. That a lot of the post-apocalyptic shots, and all those scenes were filmed in an actual landfill, and nobody was happy about that. Like anyone.
She leant over and told me that in the cinema. My reply was, without missing a beat, well, the director's last movie was District 9. So no, the director was used to that. Their last movie was filmed in Johannesburg.
Oh no, she didn't.
Take that, capital of South Africa.
Oh yeah, apartheid, you suck that. But
I just felt it. I just felt the need to insult a random city.
What else was it? Oh, there was a second movie of Hunger Games, and I haven't read any of the
trailer.
books.
I'm sure
I haven't seen any of the movies.
I'm sure we saw that trailer in front of Iron Man 3.
Yeah, we did.
By the way, we did an Iron Man 3 vlog, but our computer ate it. We spent like an hour, yelling at each other about movie making. Yeah, well,
I was able to get it in the footage to extract, but Movie Maker wouldn't write it, so maybe if I, used Premiere Pro like everybody else, but
if that ever gets extracted, you might see it.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't that interesting.
It's so terrible. Like, we saw Superman, but let's tell you about the trailers, right?
Yeah, most people wait till the end of their thing before they do that.
I was excited about the trailers. Also, there was this kid, like, several rows away from us that I swear to God either had tuberculosis or, like, whooping cough because, like, they had to leave a third away into the movie. And I was so glad because it was like that scene in Outbreak where the one person that doesn't know they're sick goes to the movie theater and they go, Bashoo! And you follow all the little bacteria virus drop, or they were virus drops, as they swirl in the air, and one lands in a woman's popcorn, she puts it in her mouth, and then they're all in the ER later on that night. I thought that was going to happen.
Also reminds me of Contagion, the film by Steven Soderbergh, which featured Lawrence Fishburne, who was in Man of Steel.
He was.
So yeah.
The spoiler-free version first, otherwise people will cry.
Spoiler-free version.
There were people in it.
Should not have been an origin. General Zod is quite possibly from a certain lens without ridiculous over the top villainy. It was actually very heroic.
He was the hero, pretty much.
The wasn't very good. Was very stupid.
Yeah. So that was it. So here's the spoiler part. Like, so if you beyond this point, it's all your own
Although
fault.
a lot of this are going to be pretty fucking obvious. There's a guy. Oh my God, Superman is actually Clark Kent.
Okay, so here's the thing. So it opens up with like all this stuff, and Krypton and Zod and
Krypton
and
did not look as sexy as it did in Richard Donner's.
Shut up! I thought it looked cool, but there's like.
Have you seen Richard Donner's version?
No, but so
fucking sexy.
Dude, shut up because digital effects. But so Jor-El is going. We have to do things and stuff. Our planet's dying, and Zod's like, I'm your bitch now. And there's all this stuff going on, and there's like this whole civil war.
Why did Zod scream, I am your bitch now?
I'm paraphrasing. And there's this whole thing of they like, oh, we're gonna fight, and then Zod kills Jor-El, but not before his wife Laura, who has this particularly human sounding name.
Yeah. Although that's from the comics.
Lara, whatever. But so blasts little baby, and so they use a little baby infant, and you see his junk, and I don't think that actor will appreciate that 15 years from now, but whatever.
They're not really an actor. They weren't acting. They were like just, it's not like they were like, okay, now little Timmy, you were playing a character called Kal-El. You have just been born. You are about to go into the endless voids of space. I want quiet desperation.
Because it's not nice to call him a prop.
Well, he's not an actor. He's a baby.
But he's not a prop either.
No, well, but the same way that animals aren't actors. They are doing what they do naturally. Well, animals are.
Does that mean that there's somebody in the credits came up as Baby Wrangler?
Quite possibly.
That's great. But so he shot off to Earth and stuff like that.
He's not an actor.
And there's the whole destruction of their whole world, and Zod being shot off into space and
into the Phantom Zone,
sarcophagi, and then their planet explodes. Then the shot of the ship going over the Kansas skyline behind the barn. And here's what I think. That would have been great for the end of the movie. I want to see a movie where the whole bunch leading up to that is Zod and Jor-El, we're going to save Krypton, yeah. And then there's all this intrigue and backstabbing, and the council does things and stuff, and he can't control the military, and someone's finally like, listen, we're soldiers, we've got to do something.
It's better as a TV show than a film, like a Game of Thrones type thing.
Yeah, but this, I don't have the patience for that. So it would be like this whole about the Civil War, and then the ending. It would end with that last scene. It would fade out, so you already know who Superman is. You just by osmosis,
This does not need to.
This would be great. I will write the screenplay.
The origin, most of the origin stuff in this is not necessary. I can't wait for a version of this to be fan edited where they do cut out the extraneous, unnecessary origin stuff.
But it wasn't even like
they need
chronological because it was kind of. You know what it was like? It was inserted into the story. It was kind of like you were reading Clark Kent's Facebook timeline. Because it would be like, September 17th, 1994, bullied on the bus. And we stopped, the action of the present day to see him be like, I really wanted to use my deadly heat lasers on that kid. But it didn't. Sucks that my dad's Kevin Costner, though.
Yeah, if you cut out all of that shit, okay, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. You don't need the origin of these characters.
You already know.
By osmosis,
yes, you just need
the entire fucking planet knows.
It's like a priori knowledge, now. It's like, where did Jesus come from? You know this.
It's not necessary. Iron Man, fine. Wonder Woman, fine. Green Lantern, fine.
I don't know where Green Lantern comes from.
The Flash, fine. All need origin stories.
I thought you were going to say The Fly.
All of those ones need origin story. Even the Incredible Hulk, even though that's almost at the level of Batman and stuff. But you do not need the fucking origin stuff. Okay, with this movie, the stuff with Zod and stuff, that set up character stuff for later on, so that I'm fine with. The Krypton on stuff, even though it's not as sexy as the Richard Donner version, and there was no one screamed, "You will bow down to me!" That was okay. Stuff in Kansas with the father, not fucking necessary.
Oh my god, why Kevin Costner? He just kind of stood around looking vaguely constipated the whole entire time. And there was this part at the end. Where Superman and his mom go to his dad's grave, and we'll get to his dad dying in a second. And they're like, "Oh, he would have wanted you. They would have loved the man that you become." And I leaned over and I said, "If you build it, Superman will come."
No. If you build Superman, then the Kryptonians will come.
Yeah, but that's not what I said to you the first time.
Yeah.
Get it? Because
That's the
Kevin
better version.
Costner was in Field of Dreams.
Okay, Superman's greatest superpower is not any of the fucking showy ones. It's his super ethics.
Which is makes him a super douche.
It does.
Like, seriously, he and Captain America should, like, get together and, like, be the douche parade.
You can call him a douche. That's fine. But the fact is, the concept of the character is that Superman, through Jonathan Kent and I can't remember what Ma Kent's real name is. Martha, I think. I am far from a Superman genius.
That's a farm kind of name.
I am far from a Superman expert. Because I'm a Marvel fan.
I bet someone knows the dog's name. If you know, right?
Superman's dog is called Krypto.
No.
He's from Krypton.
The mom's dog.
Oh, okay. Dunno.
There's probably someone that knows that. And if you know, write the show.
Batman in the 60s, the 50s had a bat dog called Ace, and in Batman
Ace
Beyond,
the Bat Dog.
in Batman Beyond, the sequel to the animated series, old Bruce Wayne had a dog called Ace.
I didn't like Batman Beyond because he was all like an old.
But he had a dog called Ace, which was a nice reference.
Okay, it was.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the mother's dog was called Krypto just as an in-joke.
Probably. Oh, and you probably found this on the internet already, but there's a tanker and a few other things that say LexCorp on them, and I was like, look, honey. And then I felt proud of myself because I saw that detail.
But then earlier on you were like, oh my god, I can't believe they called the small town that Superman came from Smallville.
No, I didn't know that was canon. I thought that was just from the show, and the show annoyed me so much. I saw like 4 episodes of it in my life, and I'm like, oh, shut up.
But yeah, I'm not a Superman, expert.
And about the water tower in Smallville, that was probably actually real footage before all the digital stuff. Because if you look closely, and now you're gonna not see this, there are RF antennas on top of the water tower, which means that it's a cell site. Now I couldn't see if there were microwave agents on there, so it's not WiMAX.
Honey.
But it's 4-directional RF.
Honey, we are vlogging a superhero movie for
There's
the
nothing
internet.
else to talk about except RF
you don't need to make
antennas.
this any more nerdy.
I'm not a nerd.
But Jonathan Kent, he's supposed to have instilled all. The reason Superman has the super ethics is because Jonathan Kent and Martha Kent, I think her name is, instilled in him this incredibly brilliant sense of ethics. And how does that get represented in this film?
I had a great idea. Okay.
By having the father Kent tell his son that he should let people die.
Children, well, you should probably let the kids die. Maybe.
And then him being all like, yeah, you shouldn't save me either. This is not how you create Superman.
Wouldn't it be great if the farmhouse that he crashed near, instead of being the Kents, it was the 2 old people from Courage the Cowardly Dog? Think about it.
Okay, Sally Field was okay, but Pa Kent was probably better realized in X-Men Origins.
That was Sally Field?
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
It was better realized in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
You know the old couple there that replaced the Hudsons? They were totally Superman's parents.
Like everybody was in it. Christopher Maloney, who I love because I loved Law and Order SVU. But so it was great to see him. He had a pretty big role actually, and of course he did well because he's awesome. And so they're up in this Arctic base, and there's the guy. I don't know the actor's name, but the guy that played Gata in the new Battlestar Galactica. And I was like, oh, look, it's him. Oh, look, it's him. I did that the whole entire movie. Hey, look, it's him. And she'll be like, yeah.
And then Richard Schiff was there, too, from the West Wing, just to make it really, really bizarre.
So there's like, the ship that he finds in the ice, he gets raised up and he shoots out of the ice, and they all run out, and they're like, whoa, check that the fuck out. And they just like look at each other. There's a guy that played Gate on Battlestar Galactica, and Detective Stabler. And then I thought to myself, we're watching someone's fanfic. Like, I mean, can't you just see like someone trying to describe that to you on Twitter? Like, okay, so Detective Stabler, right? So he leaves the police force, he joins the army, right? And then Gata from Battlestar Galactica, he gets reincarnated because actually he doesn't know he's a Cylon, and there's a regeneration ship nearby in orbit. So he's in the army, but he doesn't know he's a Cylon. He's with them, and then like the ship goes whoosh, and they're like, oh, wow, look at that. And then they go back into the command center, and then they kiss.
The Kryptonians are all Cylons too. That's why the babies. That was actually for resurrection things.
That would be pretty cool.
But the on Zod.
Zod.
Okay.
Kneel before his goatee.
Zod is like Magneto in the X-Men movies in that every so often they've got to have them do something A, incredibly stupid, or B, something incredibly evil for no reason at all, just to remind the audience that you're not supposed to think that they could possibly be the hero.
Like, I was totally on his side. Totally. I'm like the way that I was totally on Loki's side. Well, they should team up. That'd be great. Do that. Someone should do that. They're on Enemy Comics, right?
Yeah, they're not gonna.
Well,
because Zod.
Somebody write the fanfic.
Zod is okay. At the start, we're supposed to think that Jor-El is the hero because Zod took over the government. This government, which tapped the core for energy and was destroying the planet. Zod did a coup, decided to kill them all, take over, violent revolution. The entire planet is at stake. Okay, fine. At times I can see when a violent revolution where everyone needs to die is appropriate.
Yeah, he's
and
basically
that
like, I have to save our people. Jor-El, my brother, help me. And he's like,
yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm Russell Crowe.
Yeah, violent, bloodthirsty revolutions are not always a bad thing. If the planet's going to die if you don't have one, okay, that's a fine thing to do it. But then, Zod's like, hey, Jor-El, let's save, a bunch of our people. And then Jor-El's like, well, can we not save all of the people? And he's like, no. Obviously, I don't know why. I don't know why he says that they can't save all of them. Well, maybe he was just going to be all.
I think he wanted to kill the elitist bloodlines that led the planet.
The leadership ones, maybe, or he might have just wanted to leave behind the people who actually did it. Maybe that was the execution he was going to go for. I don't know.
But still, okay, when you're thinking about complete extinction or some people living, and that's the thing. He's like. Jor-El through the whole beginning was like, at least my son will be the savior of all our people. At least my son will survive our hope, our thing.
Yeah, Jor-El is the hero because.
Shut up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, not you, Jor-El.
Sorry, Zod is the villain in this because he doesn't want to save everyone, but Jor-El is the hero because he wants to save one person. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how good one person is. If you get the option of saving one person, or you get the option of saving more than one person, and you deliberately go for saving the one person. You're not a hero.
No, but honey, remember he coded the souls of every Kryptonian ever into Superman's DNA somehow.
And then apparently, they didn't explain why
like,
he did that.
How did he know someone would go in there and extract it? Like, all those old ones where, like, the orphan has had the mysterious map tattoo on his arm since forever. He doesn't know how he got it, and then you find out his father put it there, so it would lead him to the treasure eventually.
Ironically, skin, when it grows, it would be warped.
Yeah, that's true. But, like, or, like, something like that, like, that's a pretty common trope. But who would think, I mean, it's like, oh, well, gee, that tattoo of a map on your arm, that might be something important we should look into. Who thinks, like, I better scan Superman's DNA to find souls?
You're going to need, like, Kryptonian equipment to do that anyway.
What?
That was entirely insane. So, Zod is like, okay, I want to save a fuckload of us. But Jor-El's like, no, we're going to save one of them. And then they're like, okay, well, can't we? Why can't other people, go as well? And he's like, no, because they're old Krypton and they must die with the planet.
Yeah, like they built this spaceship for Superman to shoot him off, and then she's like, we can go with our son, the son that I just natural birthed, in an excruciating.
How did they hide that on the planet?
Maybe she just wore like a really big robe, or just stayed in with a robot. But like, okay, they have this pretty graphic birthing scene, right? Not pretty graphic, but. We went to the 450 showing because I got home from work early, and there was a lot of little kids there. And I thought to myself as the scene was playing out, all the toddler questions in the car on the way home, like, what happened? Where did that baby come from? Why is Superman a baby? Why he what?
Why a penis?
Yeah, well, but like, and a parent explaining, well, a baby comes out of a mommy's tummy and stuff like that. But then, of course, my mind took it further. Like, won't people like the Million Mom March or 1 Million Moms or whoever get really angry that they didn't show, like, Jesus bringing the baby, that they showed a birth and stuff like that? And then, I'm imagining, while this movie is going on, I'm sitting there staring off and this and imagining the car ride home in a fundamentalist car where the mom's like, well, honey, Jesus brought Superman to the world to save us.
Well, the Christian.
This is all you were just thinking about.
The Christian sort of take with Superman is quite often that he was sent by his father, who was powerful, in order to save mankind. That he's a Jesus analog.
Well, there's no Holy Spirit. What's the Holy Spirit? The magic thumb drive that came with it?
Well, the hologram version, maybe. I don't know, but basically that's what they say. Basically that he is a Christian sort of analog. Even though the two guys who created him were Jewish, he was actually.
Yeah, but he can't suffer and die. I mean, he can suffer, I guess, but he can't die.
He did. There was an entire arc called The Death of Superman.
No, I mean...
He dies in All-Star Superman.
Well, everyone dies in the comic books sometimes, right? It's like Xena Warrior Princess, everyone dies.
But in, the two guys who created Superman are both Jewish.
Oof.
And, you know, it's weird. So comic books might be the most singly Jewish art form ever. Because guys who created Superman Jewish.
Well, besides,
I'm fairly sure Bob Kane was Jewish.
Well,
Stan Lee's Jewish. It's
well,
like, wow. I never realized that. I never thought of that. But,
it was very satisfying to see Superman getting the snot beat out of him in a whole bunch of fights. I found that kind of fulfilling.
But in the original version, the two guys who created Superman said that they were inspired. You know, the story of being sent away and stuff. That was inspired by Moses.
Yeah, I was thinking the baby in the basket.
Yeah. But okay.
And we actually did the shut up, you're not my real dad. And I was like,
what is it with this movie making? Okay, it made Jor-El and made Pa Kent both fucking evil. It's like, we're going to take the good father figures who made Superman into the ultra ethical guy he is, and we'll make them both evil.
He's a mama's boy
on some level. It's like,
okay. So here, coming back to Pa Kent. So they're like driving the truck. He's like, "Shut up! You're not my real dad." He's like, "Yeah, well, whatever." And then there's like a tornado comes, and they're like, "Oh shit! Everyone get out of the car! Get to the overpass." Which, by the way, that's a myth. That's been debunked. It's an urban legend. If you're in a car and there's a tornado coming, we'll try to drive fucking fast in the other direction, but if it's too late, they say get out of your car, get into a ditch, or seek some other kind of physical shelter. Don't get into the underpass because it's useless.
yeah, have you ever come across wind tunnels? That's what it's like.
I think it's kind of like that. But so then he's like, oh, so the dog is still the thing, and then because he had said before, sometimes you just gotta let people die, and so you don't blow your cover. So he's like, no, you take this girl, I'll go get the dog, and I'm like, why don't you send your indestructible son into the tornado to get the dog? I know that, we can't break the masquerade, thematically speaking. But here's the thing, though. Like, people survive tornadoes in freak ways all the time. Like, that's a thing. Like, like the kid who was in the house alone and the tornado comes and it destroys the house and they find the kid in a field, like 2 miles away, like dazed and a bit banged up, but pretty much okay.
Yeah.
People can survive tornadoes in really weird and obscure ways. So all he has to do is like pretend to be like, oh, I think I just look at my shoulder, but I'm okay. And
yeah.
it totally, I'm like...
Yeah, Pa Kent is like, he injures his legs.
He deserved to die.
Saving the fucking dog, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna try and limp away, but then like, oh no, I can't. I'm gonna stand here, and he's like, no, don't save me.
And then he makes eye contact from like literally 100 yards away, and it just looks like.
Then the tornado comes
in slow motion. He's like,
was taken away. Then he became James Franco and went to Oz. But then Superman could have easily just run out to try and save his dad. He looks like an impulsive, stupid thing to do.
Tackled him and then protected him with his strength. Yeah. And then be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you survived this miracle.
And then it could have been a miraculous survival.
Yeah.
Easily done, but no,
just people need to think. And, about people thinking, I tweeted that I'm smarter than Zod, and this is why. So, like, Superman, collapses of inhalation poisoning on their ship. And then he has this dream where Zod explains everything to him. And then for some reason, Zod is dressed in Superman's costume.
Well, that's like the Kryptonian underwear.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. And then he's just wearing farm clothes, and he's on his family's farm in this hallucination dream. And it's like one of their ships lands, starts blowing shit up, and he's like, "We need to resurrect, Krypton and all this stuff." And he's like, "Well, what will happen to here?" And then all of a sudden he's sinking in human skulls, and he's like, "We have to start somewhere."
That's the most human skulls I've seen in a movie, in an over-the-top movie since Terminator 2.
And so here's the thing, why doesn't Zod lie? He calls Superman a farm boy. He said to another one of the Kryptonians, well, he doesn't understand our culture, and he doesn't understand our decorum and our ways. He's like, he's been on some backwater planet his whole life. You can lie.
Yeah.
You can say, Superman, look, or no, Superman, Cal, look, and that pissed us off too. It's like, hey Cal, hey buddy, hey kid,
yeah.
how you doing?
Call him fucking Kal-El.
But he's like, hey, you know what? So there was this codex, right? And your dad hid it with you to save, because he knew that if he got you out of there, you could be the savior of our race. So we need your help. We need this codex. I don't know where you put it. We need this to resurrect and save our people. You don't have to put in the part about...
Yeah, I'm going to kill everyone that you know.
Right, and then they go and they try to terraform Earth to their specifications. But here's the thing. If they take the time to adapt, then they get, all the
a
superpowers that
couple of
Superman
years.
has.
I think they've already, for some reason, got super strength, and they were beginning to get other powers and stuff. Like, what?
You could just rule us as gods. We could be your slave race. And here's the thing: if they have terraformers, why don't they terraform Mars? Because then check out what happens. You have a slave planet, right? That you can put to work building a new Krypton that you've just terraformed that you can then inhabit with the resurrection of all the Kryptonian people. And we're like, I should be General Zod.
Yeah, that is much smarter.
All you have to do was lie to Superman. You didn't need to tell him the truth right away.
You didn't even need to lie to Superman. You could have just
phrase it differently and not use
the terraformer over there.
Less human skulls.
Put the terraformer over there, and then because they all died because they were terraforming shit. If they just all come to Earth and then Superman tried to fight them all, Superman couldn't have killed them all. They could have killed Superman. And even the fighting things, fighting was fairly spectacular, very nice.
Good effects.
But it really should have been a thing. The fighting style was way wrong. Superman has no training in fighting. Superman, however, is better on Earth because he's
got
mastery of the powers.
He's the kind of person he's good in a bar fight. These are trained soldiers of an alien nation.
Yeah, this should have been, the Zod's people should have been much better at actual fighting, but nowhere near as good with the powers. And Superman should have been much better with the powers. That would have been a really interesting dynamic for fighting, but they pretty much ignored that. And, out of the Kryptonians, you had one point where you had, Zod having 2 assistants. One woman, one large one who's silent. I know they called, the woman was called Feora. I don't know what they called the large one, but it's like, just fucking call them Ursa and Non, please.
That didn't annoy me at all.
This is basically a remake of Superman
I didn't
2.
like Lois Lane either. The only good I didn't even realize it was Amy Adams until we saw the credits. But the only redeeming quality of Lois Lane is the fact that with her hair color and how she wore it and the kind of clothes she wore, she kind of reminded me a lot of Rachel from Friends.
Which is a bizarre thing to say.
Yeah, well, I noticed things like that, but another thing that annoyed me about her, she's just such a twat. I hated her, but she was like, I'm this Pulitzer Prize, winning journalist, and I'm so journalistic integrity. I've been in war zones. And then she meets with this guy who probably basically runs a tabloid blog, and he was like, why are you giving me this story?
I thought like Andrew Breitbart type guy.
Yeah, but it's without the religion part. I thought you called my website a festering hole of unsubstantiated rumors. She's like, well, I need to get the story out. I'm like, if you're such a strong skeptic, what about the fact, okay, so you saw the ship, you were injured by the thing, but as far as Superman goes, you were in shock. If that happened to me, I would stop and think, okay, the ship maybe I could buy. Maybe it was a government secret or something Russian or something like that.
Well, the other guy said that it was on the radar and stuff, so that's,
Right, but
definitely.
The government members could have lied and said, oh yeah, that's been the ice for 1 million years. It's definitely not the Russian submarine.
Well, for personal skepticism, that's enough. But for the guy himself, you're right.
Right. She was in shock. She was hemorrhaging internally. She had taken injury. If that happened to me, I would have thought there's no way he could have cauterized those with his eyes. I must have been in shock.
Oh, and
then her boss was like, "I totally believe you," and I'm like, "Shut up! How did you get a job in journalism?"
And this is another.
This is not The Onion.
This is another big sort of alteration for
It's like, I'm in love with Superman. I mean, I'm just.
Well, that's usual, but Lois Lane finds out that he's Clark Kent, 2 minutes into her knowing who he is.
Yeah, pretty much. She goes to his dad's grave, and she's like, I knew that she'd come, and I'm like, how stupid are you people?
I wasn't sure. I was trying to work out. Are they gonna do were they gonna do what they did in Superman and have going around the world and sort of reversing time, or are they gonna do a super kiss to make her not from membership? Because this is an amazing,
He has super pheromones.
This is an amazing fuck
it's
up
Axe bodies
in canon in Superman. It's this is just imagine an Iron Man movie where you have the Mandarin, but he's actually a drunken English actor.
I couldn't imagine such a thing. What else? Oh, one thing that's cool is with the satellite that gets destroyed had Wayne Enterprise on it. So of course I had this, Family Guy-esque aside, and this would have been a perfect stinger for after the credits. You have Batman sitting there, and Wayne Enterprise is reading the Wall Street Journal or something, and Lucius Fox comes to Mr. Wayne, I have some bad news, and hands him the newspaper, Wayne Enterprise satellite breaks orbit and falls, and he's like, someone's going to get sued. And I was like, well, I was dreaming of this really funny scene while the actual climactic, unimportant thing was going on. And then, like, oh, so finally, like, they nearly wreck Metropolis, but everyone's safe, okay, but they're not, but it's like
Superman
Neo-Tokyo.
deliberately didn't lead. He can fly. He didn't lead Zod and all his people away from Metropolis for the fight.
Killed probably hundreds of thousands of people. If Metropolis is supposed to be New York City.
Yeah.
But so finally that's done, and part of the city is fine. There's a big crater, like Neo-Tokyo, Akira-esque. And then Zod comes out. I'm like, oh, fuck. They have to have another confrontational fight. I am never going to get out of here. Because we went to Crystal Thai afterwards and got Thai food, so...
It was good.
Yeah.
But, okay, and Superman at the end is all like, kills Zod because Superman, apparently in the Christopher Nolan, gritty remake of Batman, killing is completely out of the way.
I thought he was going to get away so he could come back to be in a, like, Superman 3 or 4 or something.
But Superman killing? Oh, Superman kills everyone in this movie.
No, but see, that was the thing. He had to kill him to save those humans.
He also, helped him with the black hole devices and things. Superman pretty much commits genocide on his own people, and it's like.
Although that gravity thingy was pretty cool, though.
It was cool, but it was like, Jesus Christ, Nolan, you're like Batman can't kill because Tim Burton was terrible for having Batman kill it. Superman, oh, he's gonna kill everyone. I mean, like, at the end, he's all like, oh, I'm forced into killing you, Zod, because you're going to use your heat regime to kill this, 3 people who don't fucking go out the way, even though it's entirely possible. Oh no, even though, I was having this big Metropolis fight, through the whole thing, where, where hundreds of thousands of people have already died.
Billions and billions of dollars of damage.
And
it was stupid. And
this is terrible.
No one has actual character motives or anything like that. Like, it was so confusing. Like, they showed, his baby ship is about to land, and then all of a sudden it was like the deadliest catch. I was, what the fuck is going on? And only literally 5 minutes in that scene, oh, that was Superman. And he wanders around Wolverine style. I'm like, oh my god, this movie's gonna go forever.
This stupid fucking.
Miami Connection was actually better.
They should have had.
We should have gotten snacks. That would have made it better. Well, I only got an icy.
Richard Donner's Superman movie is far better. Even though, his Lex Luthor was basically a comedy piece. At least how he went from being Clark Kent to being Superman was realized far better.
He's not even a character. With Batman, okay, here's the thing. Okay, so with Batman, and this is why there's a difference. That's why I like Batman, I like Iron Man. Okay, with Iron Man, well, he was rich.
You like rich people who beat up poor people?
Well, no. But see, with Iron Man, alright, so he was rich and stuff like that. But I like Robert Downey Jr. But he doesn't have any superpowers. He's basically got the suit, so I guess super intellect would be his thing. Batman, okay, also, again, he's rich, he has advantages. He goes, well, at least in the animated series anyway, he goes to, Tibet and all these other places, and he trains with ninjas, and he, does all this stuff. So anything that he does, it's endemic to his talents and what he has trained to do.
And his money.
But Superman's just kind of what are those kids from Dragon Ball Z? They're really dense.
Superheroes could be taken, as quite classist in nature because you've got people who either financially are in an upper class, or people who are biologically in upper class. It's very, very conservative. If you think
are there any poor people that went off and because of their skills became superheroes?
The closest thing I can think of for that is the Punisher. The Punisher is the guy, a Vietnam veteran, came back, saw his family gunned down by gangsters, and basically does a one-man psychopathic, guns out murdering war against crime. Okay. Kills criminals.
Well, there's Hellboy, but he's a demon.
Superheroes are deeply conservative, which is quite interesting.
Someone should do that. Someone should do a superhero that comes from
like a deconstruction.
Without any inherent superpowers, who does the Batman, Iron Man kind of thing, but comes from poverty. That'd be really cool.
Very difficult to do it, but okay.
Oh, someone could think of it. Put a Kickstarter together.
Couple of last points.
Yeah.
I'm gonna complain about Jenny Olsen. Perfectly fine with Jimmy Olsen being Jenny in this, even though they didn't make it clear it was the same character, because Jimmy's supposed to be a photographer. Jenny's just an intern who doesn't actually do anything.
She might exalt to a photographer after she does a good job.
It was if they'd had her with a camera or something, that would have been much better.
A lot of interns get hired full time.
It's that's fine. It's just I wish they'd had her with the camera. So
well, maybe the next.
And I have to say, after Jimmy's many escapades with cross-dressing, it's nice to see that he's taken the plunge and become Jenny. It's absolutely wonderful.
We respect his lifestyle choice.
And the other thing I want to say is, I've seen a lot of reviews that are praising Henry Cavill. No.
Who's that?
The person who played Superman.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
He's
glad.
pretty generic looking.
I'm glad him and Russell Crowe. You know, Russell Crowe gave him advice when he was 12 years old about how to become a proper actor. Whenever he was an extra in this movie with Russell Crowe in the 90s.
Oh, I have to say, I like Russell Crowe's voice. I really do.
I'm glad that that worked out for him. That was very nice. Henry Cavill was not entirely irritating in Tarsem Singh's Immortals, but you don't watch any Tarsem Singh movies for acting. But
you just watch it to be like, oh, it's pretty.
Yeah, I'd love to see him do a superhero movie.
That'd be so cool.
But Henry Cavill, I've seen reviews that are saying he's he will replace in your mind Christopher Reeve. No, he fucking did not.
He was so generic. He wasn't even as good looking as James Franco.
His Clark Kent is even more more than usual clearly him.
Although there was a really cool part with the little him. He kind of starts manifesting some of his powers, and he's all the X-ray vision and all the noise, all the super senses and stuff, and he freaks out.
Isn't that when he was a kid?
Yeah, he freaks out and he runs and he locks himself in the closet. Well, with the exception of hearing other people's thoughts and X-ray vision, that sensory overload is what life can sometimes feel like to an autistic child.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking about when he was trying to shut out the world. He said, "The world is too big, Mom. The world is too big." And I thought to myself, I can see mothers of autistic children, and watching that and being having a sudden epiphany, wow, that might be what the world's like to me. And I thought that was kind of cool. What are you doing?
Oh, I was sorry. I was just thinking if it was anyone that we needed to talk to right now. But it's more than often than usual. Clearly him. Now, Superman in the modern. You suggested it would have been better as a 40s period piece. I agree. It would have been suspension of disbelief
really great,
much easier
because you shoot it digitally. You have the really great special effects. Everything is crisp and clear. The costuming is perfect. But do it because we were thinking that Superman is pretty much the icon of Golden Age comics, well, of comics in general, really. And so, what better homage to play to that than do this as a period piece? Because then all the little niggling modern inconsistencies wouldn't matter, because
like cell phone cameras and stuff.
Right, you are completely in suspension of disbelief. You're completely when the boss is like, "Dang, damn it, we have to go to press in 5 minutes," because in the modern days, newspapers are going out of business. They're going. Yeah. No one reads them anymore.
A period Superman film would be really cool.
Get on it. Make $1 million somewhere.
But my other issue is, they badly need. They've updated a lot of things over the years. The logical reasons for why Superman was sent there, and all these little things that are ridiculous. That worked fine in the 30s, have been updated and changed slightly for modern audiences in different mediums, and that's cool. But they have never updated Superman's Clark Kent disguise thing. I think someone had a theory that Superman, whenever he's being Superman, he vibrates. You can't actually, very, very quickly.
That's what Lois said.
He vibrates very quickly so that, human eye doesn't spot it, but, cameras will come out blurred.
Oh, like obfuscate
a bit. That's been suggested. But I really think that, if you're going to do a Superman movie, you've got to do something about this. It's even more, Christopher Reeve did a much better job at the acting, but this one is clearly the same guy. So my idea.
Yeah, half the military knows who his mother is.
Yeah,
they know
and they know
he's
33, and they know he's from Kansas. And he's white. It's at the end of this movie, I'm pretty sure the government knows who he is, and they're just humoring him because they know he could kill them.
Probably.
Because he'll kill everyone. So there was a Vsauce video about what would happen if Superman punched you at full speed.
Ooh.
It's more 500 times bigger than the nuclear bombs in Japan. Yeah. But anyway, my idea is, okay, Superman cannot exercise. His muscles, he should be very, very thin indeed, because there's nothing on Earth that can physically challenge him, so he can't grow muscles.
Yeah, but maybe he affects that look by making his cells divide a lot.
Well, I don't know if he has that power. That could be one way of getting around this. But I really think Superman should be played by a thin, weedy guy. And that would fill in perfectly for Clark Kent. Okay? So then as Superman, he needs to disguise himself. So his suit has artificial musculature on it to make him look bigger when he's Superman.
Awkward in the bedroom.
Make him look bigger, make him look more muscular. My other idea for the face part, okay, fine. Kryptonian technology changes his face. Have Clark Kent have a beard or something, and then have the actor be clean-shaven when he's Superman, and make him look more muscular. You'd have to film the thing. You'd have to film him, like Superman scenes, whenever he's got, when he's got muscles, and then sort of make him lose a lot of weight. We'd have to film it 6 months apart. But it could be done, or even do the Chris Evans and Captain America thing.
Yeah, he comes out of the ship where he's been talking with his father's hologram, suddenly in the uniform and clean-shaven. I'm like, Was the last bit of advice that Jor-El gave his son, like, the Gillette power sensor? I mean, like,
Yeah.
my son, it has triple blades for the cleanest, closest shave.
Use technology on the suit to make, to disguise him as Superman. And he's like, oh, we got this million-year-old, 18,000-year-old scout ship that has nothing to fucking do with Jor-El. And Jor-El, is all like,
No, because
control.
he was living in the thumb drive.
I know he was living in the thumb drive, but then they're walking through this thing, and then
It's
suddenly,
not really a thumb drive.
here we have the Superman costume, even though the under part is
Because
Kryptonian underwear.
he could have made, when the Jor-El program was
It's
in
like
the ship.
a replicator?
Yeah, he could have just used a replicator based on his own specifications.
Okay, he could have done that, but it's still, the blue part of the suit is Kryptonian underwear.
Yeah,
And
he's running around in his pajamas.
The sort of the S part is not colored any way that they have it on Krypton. So Jor-El apparently just decided stylistically that it needed a sort of a dark yellow background. And then the cape. Okay, there's capes, but where the fuck did the red come from? Red does not exist on Krypton.
You don't know that.
But from what we saw, we didn't see it, and it's like apparently computerized Jor-El is a fashion designer.
Oh, America's Next Top Kryptonian.
Okay.
We should probably wrap this up. I think we've been going on a long
Christopher
time.
Nolan should be kept away from superhero movies. Batman Begins was terrible. The Dark Knight Rises was terrible. This was mostly terrible. This is okay.
It's better if you look forward to eating Thai food afterwards.
This is better than Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. That's as nice as I'm gonna be.
I think that you shouldn't see it. You should watch Netflix at home instead. So that's been us.
And that shouldn't have been original. That should have been a sequel. They should have done a much more grounded story as an origin, like they did with Richard Donner.
Get it all out, honey. Get it all out.
Just watch the two Richard Donner ones. Even watch Superman 1 and then watch the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, and even watch Superman 3 if you want to have a laugh because it's deliberately a comedy. Superman 4 if you feel like MSG3King that shit. Superman Returns if you want to be all like, oh, Bryan Singer, you so much wanted to be Richard Donner. Oh, did-ums. Go make an X-Men movie.
Or if you get snacks, because we didn't get snacks, we might have felt a little better about it if we had gotten snacks.
This killed...
We almost got jalapeno poppers, but
This killed 2 hours and a half until Thor comes out. I can't fucking wait for Thor.
So that's been us. That's what we have to say. So wave goodbye to the people.
That was the latest episode of Lesbians. Watch Lesbians talk about movies.
Okay, bye.